Hey guys, PepperAmmy here. This week we are making fresh pasta cannellonis, or if you alter the recipe slightly, you could use this exact recipe to make ravioli. Good morning, Corey. What do you want? Now, being honest with this recipe, it is one where you do as I say and not how I did, as I did make a few mistakes along the way. Now, to start, we are of course going to need some pasta. Now, for this you can of course use pre-made cannelloni tubes, pre-made lasagna sheets, but me being me, wanted to go the extra step by making one of my favourite fresh pastas, and that is the 2-ingredient spinach pasta. Now, if you've been here a while, you may have seen that I've already done a video on this already, so here I'm just going to do a quick rundown. Now, to start, you want to be combining 200 grams of flour and 100 grams of spinach in a food processor. Now, the great thing about this recipe is it's done by weight, so you can do it in any weight conversion you need. You just basically start with how much you need, and then you just divide it into thirds. 2/3 is obviously going to be your flour, and 1/3 is going to be your spinach. Now, with my hefty pile of spinach, you may be thinking that looks a lot for 100 grams, and yes, you are right, that is indeed 200 grams of spinach, but any leftover pasta can be chilled or frozen down. Then you want to blend your spinach and flour until it comes together, forming a ball. Now, if it's still a little bit sticky, that's fine, as we need to knead it like you would for normal pasta on a floured worktop. Now, you want to knead this until it's smooth and springs back when lightly pressed with a finger. Then cover and let rest either at room temperature or in the fridge for around an hour. Now, for the filling, I'm using my food processor again, as it's already dirty, but you can simply use a bowl. You want to combine 275 grams of ricotta cheese with 175 grams of spinach. If you're doing this in a bowl, you will require to chop the spinach before adding it. And then you want to add 1 whole egg, 2 tablespoons of garlic puree, and salt and pepper to taste. Now, if it is a little bit loose, you can add in 25 grams or so of flour and then mix together until it is semi-firm. Now, if you have a large enough piping bag, you can add it to a piping bag for ease. If not, you just spoon it in later. Now, I'm going for the piping bag and spooning because I didn't realize how small my piping bag were. Then you just want to let this chill before using. Once your pasta has rested, comes the rolling part. Now, to make life easier, I'm splitting my ball of pasta into 8. But remember, I am using double, so if you are just using the 100 and 200 grams, just split it into 4. Then you want to start with your roller on the largest setting, mine is on 1, and then I'm going all the way down to 5, passing it through twice per sheet. Now, once you've got it thin enough to your sheet, or around 1mm if you are rolling by hand, you want to then lightly flour to stop them sticking to the roller or each other when stacked. Then you want to roughly eyeball, or even if you're feeling fancy, measure them into squares and then lay them together in a stack. As for the scraps I'm trimming off, I'm going to be turning that into a ball and putting in the freezer for later use. Now, to prepare your cannellonis, you want to grease your pan you want to use. Now, this will help with the prevention of sticking. Now, I did forget to do this, and I did regret it later on. Then you want to pre-cook your pasta sheets for around 1 minute in boiling water. I did skip this step because you need to dry your sheets, and my kitchen paper is fresh out and my tea towels do not absorb any water, which is really annoying. So this will result in a softer cannelloni at the end, but you can skip the pre-cooking, but they will be a lot firmer. Then, either using the piping bag or a spoon, you want to place some filling along the edge of the pasta, roll up to cover, and then place on your definitely greased baking pan. Then you want to make a quick sauce using some dry herbs like oregano, basil, Then add that to 500 grams of passata, and then gently heat to infuse the flavours and pour over your pasta. Then top with some grated cheese, now I went a little bit overboard, and then bake for 20 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius or 400 Fahrenheit until the cheese has melted. Now, I did overdo mine slightly as I'm still getting used to this oven, and I'm sure it is actually cooking slightly above the temperature I set it to, so my cheese did get a little bit crispy. And there you have it. Spinach and spinach ricotta stuffed spinach cannellonis. How many times can I say spinach in a sentence? Now, in my personal time, I want to revisit this recipe and try it again, as to be 100% honest, I was not entirely pleased how this came out, but we all fumble in the kitchen sometimes. Now, as I scrape this out of the dish and prep it for dinner, that does wrap up this week's video. Now, if you like what you saw, let me know down below with a like and a comment. If you are new here, feel free to subscribe for free weekly cooking content, and I will see you all again next week, where I hopefully don't fumble the recipe. Thanks for watching.